Hi, students. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020 or 2020. Today I'm going to talk to you about your assignments. All right, let's take a look at our reading assignments. So we are going to listen or read page 22 through 23 from the shared reading. The name of the text you will be reading is called Shapes in the Clouds. You can also look at the big book portion of this. So you have two choices, the shared reading student book or the big book shared reading. Now, I'm going to show you what they both look like. Here is the student version for Shapes in the Clouds, page 22 and 23. And here is the big book version, just page 18. Now, there are going to be some questions that you answer, and I want you to notice that it says, and answer questions for day 3. Those questions are up here in the full reading and writing directions. I'm going to go ahead and click on those. And when it opens up, you're going to see day 1 first. Scroll down until you get to day 3. And here we go. So we're going to look at the respond section. And it says, I want that to think and talk about the following. You need to circle a word that has the same sound as Kurt. Underline a word that is the opposite of far. And identify an important detail from the story. Now, if you look at the student version, the annotation directions are very similar. There might be some wording that's a little bit different. On the bottom here, it says put a star next to an important detail. That's something that's a little different. In the directions, it says identify an important detail. This one's asking you to place a star next to it. So if you still have this book, you can do that. If not, you can just talk about it. Let's talk about writing. So for writing, you are going to create a cloud shape, draw and or write about your cloud shape. If you want to do that inside of your shared reading book here, this would be an excellent place to do it. If you don't want to write about it, maybe you can label your picture. All right, now let's talk about grammar. So you can click on this link, open up the grammar pages, and you can see them on here. Now, I know that this first one you're looking at, it has scissors. This is a word sort. Don't worry, you can still do this without having to cut it out. So these are the 2 grammar pages. I'm going to switch the camera right now so we can take a look at these pages together. Okay, so here's the first page. It says, what does ED say? The directions say, Ed can make different sounds. Read the words below, then cut out each word and glue it under the correct ending sound. Print on cardstock. First of all, you don't need to print this. Second of all, it doesn't need to be on cardstock. Cardstock is just really thick paper. I did not print mine on that. This is pretty thin paper. Now notice I said Ed, but ED does make different sounds. It can also make the D sound or the T sound. So let's go through all of these words, and then I'm going to tell you what you can do if you're not printing this out. Yelled, helped, buzzed, planted, handed, camped, bumped, called, started. So in all of those words, you heard D, T, and Ed. So you would sort these words. If you are printing this out, cut out the words. You only need to cut around the dotted line. You're not going to need a bunch of little pieces of trash. Cut them all out individually, and then you can place the words in the appropriate boxes. So let's say you don't have a printer. Well, maybe you have a piece of paper, or you have a little whiteboard that you can use at home. I'm going to use a whiteboard. You can do this on a piece of paper. You can make 3 columns, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You see my lines are not perfect. You can say d, t, and ed, and then you can start sorting the words. So, for example, the word yelled ends with the sound d. So I would write yelled. The word helped ends with the t sound. So I would just write the word helped here. And you're just sorting your words. So that's an option that you have if printing is not an option for you. Okay, let's look at the next page. So the next page is review of one of our controlled R sounds, and I'm going to read these words in the box here and tell you what the directions are. Again, I want to remind you, do not need to print this out. You can always just talk about it with a human, a stuffy, or a pet, or you can just write it on another piece of paper, a scratch paper. Okay, so the words are bird, clerk, earth, every, first, hurt, nurse, serve, shirt, turn. What I want to show you is that we have not just the UR, we have IR and ER and EAR, and along with that UR. So we're reviewing all of our controlled R sounds that make the sound. So just note that it's not just the UR. You are going to write the correct spelling word for each clue. So number 1 says something you wear. Okay, well, you know, I like to go through all of my words. So I'm just going to do that really quick. Let's see, something you wear, bird, nah, clerk, earth, every, first, those are not things anybody wears. Hurt, nurse, serve, shirt. Oh, shirt. A shirt is something you wear. Let me go to this last word, turn. Now that's not something you wear. So I would write shirt either on this paper, on a scratch paper, or I would say it out loud. I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of them to you, and you can do these on your own. Number 2, an animal with wings that builds nests. Number 3, a person who works at a medical office. Number 4, comes before second. Number 5, what you are when you get a cut. Number 6, a person who helps you at a store. Number 7, the planet we live on. Number 8, all things in a group or series. Number 9, to bring someone food or drink. Number 10, to move and face a different direction. Okay, so that's it for your grammar today. Now let's go back to our student-friendly schedule. And now we're going to talk about math. So you can click on these links that you see here, the 10-2 student page, the worksheets, the math games. Right here is a video that explains the math games. And then this 10-2 game worksheet are the worksheets for the games. So I'm just going to click on one of these right now, the 10-2 student page, but then we're going to go back to the camera and we're going to take a look at it that way. So here is the colorful page that you would have gotten in class. So let's go back to our camera and let's talk about that. So here we go. What you're learning today is adding tens on a hundreds chart. So in the video, it's going to talk to you about what is on the inside here. How you start on a number, in this case 34, and then for every 10 that you add, you're going to move down 1 row. So let's take a look at how they're doing that. So they're starting with the number 34. They're adding 20, so that's adding 2 tens. And then for every 10 you add, you're going to move down one row. So here is 34. And so I'm going to move down one row. So this is 10, 20. So 34 plus 20 is 54. And then it also says I can skip count to check my work. 34, 44, 54. And just to make a connection here, let's drop it down to if we were just counting by tens. This could be 30, 40, and 50. So I want you to notice the pattern. Skip counting by tens, it doesn't change. The only number that's changing is that first number, which is the 10, the tens place. Okay, now in this worksheet, you are given parts of the hundreds chart that you will need. Just in case you want to have a hundreds chart to look at, let's go back to the student-friendly schedule. Over here under Wednesday, there's something that says the hundreds chart tool. Click on that. And what you have here is a hundreds chart that you can look at. You could print this out too, but it's just kind of a pretty one that you can use on your screen to help you. Okay, so let's go back to the camera and let's flip back to the front page. On the front page, what you can do is actually after you've done the work, you can come back to this and then make up your own problems. So maybe for number one, I want to say, let's see here, 15 plus 10. And then I could go to my new tool that I have, and I could find 15. And then remember, you're supposed to go down one row for each 10. So I would go down and 25 would be my answer. So I could write that. Okay, so that's something that you could do after you have finished everything else. Now, let's kind of go back to the inside. I'm just going to talk about the directions for the inside, then the back page, and then we're going to move on to the practice and reteaching pages. So the directions for numbers 1 through 5 are use the hundreds chart to add 10. So they're talking about this one, but again, you can use the other one that I just showed you. So number 1's done for you. 2 plus 10 equals 12. They found 2. They went down 1 10, and that equaled 12. Number 2, 4 plus 20. Find the number 4. Figure out how many tens is this? How many times are you going to have to go down and find the answer to that? Number 3, 37 plus 10. Number 4, 18 plus 30. Number 5, 6 plus 30. You can do the do you understand section. It says, when you add 30 to 16, which digit in 16 stays the same, and explain. Now, digit is talking about the individual numbers that are in a number. So let's go back up here and remember what I said about this section. You can always rewind and listen to that again as a clue to help you answer this question. Let's take a look at the independent practice. Doing the same thing, use the 100 chart to add tens. I'm going to let you read these. Remember, find that number on the part of the 100 chart here, or the one I showed you that you can use, and then go down however many tens, however many rows you have for tens. Number 11, write the missing number. How many tens are you going to have to add to 48 to get 88? So you can use your 100 chart, find 48, and then count how many rows you have to go down in order to get 88. 88 minus blank equals 48. Okay. So same thing. How many tens would you have to subtract from 88 to get to 48? Hint, hint, find 88. And you need to go backwards. You need to go up to subtract. Okay, my favorite part, the journal. We're going to read that first. Number 14, write a number story for 26 plus 30. So you get to make up your own word problem. Number 12, some hens laid 23 eggs. Then they laid 20 more eggs. How many eggs did the hens lay in all? Use the 100 chart to solve. Number 13, 28 people were in one bus. 30 people were in another bus. Which number sentence shows how many people were in both buses? And then you're going to select your answer. And then, like I said, come back over here if you want to challenge yourself, make up your own problems. Now, the next thing, this is inside of your black and blue practice and reteaching book. So this page is just going to review what you learned in the video and what you did in the worksheet that I just showed you. I'll read this to you. It's just reminding you what you're supposed to do. When you add tens on a 100 chart, you count by tens. The ones digit in each number is the same as the ones digit in the number you started from. The tens digit of each number is one more than the tens digit of the number before. So what they're showing you is that, for example, if we started with the number 6 and we're counting by tens, that ones place always stays the same. It's the tens place digit that changes as you increase how many tens you're adding. So for numbers 1 through 4, it says use the 100 chart to add tens to 16. So you can find 16, which is here, and then add however many tens they're showing you. They're just increasing by 1 each time. So this one's done for you. 16 plus 10 is 26. Then you're going to add 20 to 16, then 30, then 40. Number 5, what number did you count by on the 100 chart to find the answers? Number 6, fill in the missing digits to complete the pattern. So this might be a tricky one, but take a look very closely at it to see what you might have to fill in order to complete this pattern, okay? And I'm going to give you a little hint here. This line is very long. This is just going to be one digit. And same thing here, one digit. And I'm going to give you another clue. This is the ones place. This is the tens, and this is the tens. Giving you those hints because I know it looks a little confusing. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the practice page. Very similar things that are happening over here. You're going to be using the hundreds chart to add tens. You've got some more difficult problems here. It's not just one number that you're adding tens to now. They've changed it up for every one. So go ahead and try that out. Number 3, which number sentence is equal to 24 plus 10? So I would suggest finding these numbers on the hundreds chart and seeing if you can get the same answer the same sum, excuse me, for 24 plus 10. Okay, let's go back to our student-friendly schedule. The next on here that you can do are the math games. I'm not going to explain those because there is a nice video here that Ms. Nisha has made explaining how to play the math games, but know that that is something that you can do today. All right, students, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in another video.